All right, welcome to Texting Etiquette 101, Part 1. Texting etiquette is being polite when you are texting. So, this is your first technology class for the year. I thought since we're online right now, it would be really good for us to start out with a little bit of lessons on texting etiquette since you're going to be doing a lot of texting right now, especially with your teacher, so that you can give her your homework and all of that fun stuff. Yay, homework your favorite, right? All right, so here are some things that you need to know about texting. That word etiquette, that means having good modales. Notes out, a notebook, something that, and a pencil or pen, something you can take notes with. Don't forget, you can always pause the video because I might be speaking faster. Well, I will be speaking faster than you're writing. You need to copy everything down, take good notes. So this first part is about timing, the time of when you text. That's very, very important. Only text at permitted times. So if you know that your friend is not supposed to be texting right now, don't text them. Avoid dinner time. So around the time that most people are eating, if you happen not to be eating, don't text them. They probably are eating and you don't want to interrupt their dinner. Also avoid bedtime. If it's getting late at night, you don't want to text people because they might be asleep or getting ready to fall asleep. Have you ever been maybe just about asleep and then all of a sudden, boom, you get a text and it wakes you up? Not very fun, right? So you don't want to do that to other people. Remember, texting rules vary. That means they are different in other households. So you need to be aware of that and just try to use the most polite rules, even if maybe in a family they don't care if you're texting late at night. Don't do it, just be polite just in case, especially if you don't know what their rules are. Always try to use the most polite rules just in case. Use the 8 to 8 rule. Only send texts between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Even if you know that you have a friend who's allowed to stay up later, who's allowed to text later, you should double check with them before you send them a text late at night. If you send texts late at night or things like that, people might think it's an emergency and might get panicked and then realize, oh, they're just wanting to talk. So try to be respectful of other people's time. Wait for your friends to text you first outside of these times, 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Really don't be the first one to text. Try to be respectful of other people, their bedtimes, things like that. Give friends time to respond. That's a very, very, very important. If someone doesn't respond right away, don't get impatient with them. Don't panic or take it personally if someone is not connecting at that very moment. They might be busy with something. Maybe they're talking to someone and it's a conversation that's very important and they can't stop it to look at their phone. Maybe their battery ran out and they have to wait and charge it before they can check their texts. There's all kinds of reasons why someone may not be responding right away, even if you can tell, but they looked at my message and they didn't respond. You never know what's happening on the other side of the phone. So you have to be patient with them. Don't get panicky. Don't get offended. You have no idea what's going on. Wait patiently for a response. And don't get very pushy if they're not responding right when you would want them to. Okay, so give people time to respond. Now, I know you're probably thinking, Miss Ashley, I am allowed to go to bed at whatever time I want. My parents don't care when I'm texting. That doesn't matter. Still be polite, still follow that 8 to 8 rule, things like that. Your bedtime may not be as early as little kids, but still be polite of people's time in the evening. Also respect people's privacy. This is extremely important. There's less and less privacy in the world these days, especially with phones, so be respectful of their privacy. Don't do something that's called cold calling. This means texting or calling someone who has not given you their phone number. Maybe you know you have a friend and they have another friend, and your first friend gives you the second friend's phone number. That's not polite. They personally should be the one to give you their phone number before you text or call them. If somebody else gave you their phone number, you need to make sure, you need to check somehow that you have their permission to use their phone number and to contact them. I get phone numbers from people all the time, phone numbers of parents, from other teachers. I always check and make sure, is it okay that you're giving me this number? Are they okay with you sharing this number with me? Just to make sure, it's just to be polite and respect their privacy. If someone hasn't personally given you their number, you do not have their permission to text them. Also, don't talk about anyone else's personal information. That's gossip. You shouldn't do it on the phone. You shouldn't do it in person. It doesn't matter. Don't talk about anyone else's personal information. All right, starting a conversation. This is our last part for today's lesson. Make sure you're keeping up with your notes. When you want to start a conversation with someone, start with a greeting. Say hi. That's the very basic form, the most polite thing to do. Start with a greeting. Use a cover story. This just means it's a reason why you are texting. If you don't have a reason for texting someone, your conversation will seem a little weird and a little awkward. Why is this person talking to me? I don't know you. Ask open-ended questions. This means things that can be used to start a conversation, not something that just might have a yes or no answer. Something that has an answer and you can keep going, you can keep talking about it, you can add details, add more questions to it. Answer your own questions. And then ask follow-up questions. So ask a question, let them answer, you answer as well, ask another question about the same subject. So make sure that you have a reason before you text someone. If you want to text someone and you don't necessarily have a specific reason, you just want to talk, make sure you have plenty of things to talk about so that your conversation doesn't just turn into only stickers and emojis. Look at the little cell phone on the side here. Hey, how are you doing with the research paper? I'm getting a little stuck. So there you start with an open question. You answer it yourself to give them a little bit of something to kick them off what they could respond to you. So the person says, me too, not sure what topic to pick. So here you're going to ask another question. Me neither. What are you interested in? So then they can answer snakes, bugs, that kind of thing. So now you respond to their answer. Oh, actually, me too. I think I'll do something like that. Gonna get started now. Thanks. So that's a little conversation, very polite, trying to keep it open, trying to talk about some things, but keeping it nice and short when you're busy. All right, so that's the first part of starting a conversation, the first part of texting. Let me know if you guys have any questions about this.